Hi, Marc here. It's time for a warts-and-all Marc with a C Pocket show. Now, today, the day I'm recording this, is December 12th of 2020. Tomorrow, I've got a show to do. Not one in front of people, of course, um, that will be in the same room as me. Let me clarify that. So, what I've got going on here is I've been doing these Corin streams all year, and they're a blast. I really enjoyed playing the shows, and this time I changed it up. But what people don't realize, what they don't know, or maybe they know and they're just not saying anything, or maybe they don't think it's that big of a component. Well, I did something that I've never done, and that was I allowed a Marc with a C listener to make my set list. I've never done anything like that. Um, I had to rehearse pretty much every set list that was submitted because on paper sometimes they can look great, but in actuality they don't work out so well. And so, had to try out the bulk of them. But there can only be one, and I'm going to perform that thing tomorrow. Now, please don't get confused that on whatever day you're seeing this, that tomorrow I'm doing a show. No. This being said, what they don't know is that secretly, that's technically the 21st anniversary celebration show. It's done in a virtual way, but we do what we can. All of us, right? So, friends, well-wishers, and looky-loos, if I seem a little bit muted, it's because I am, to an extent, trying to conserve my voice. Doesn't mean low energy, though. I'm going to run through a couple of tunes that are on the set list for tomorrow. The ones I'm going to run through, mostly 4 out of the 5 songs that I'm going to play don't get played ever, or pretty much ever. That doesn't mean I have anything against them. I'm actually quite excited to do these, but that also means I should certainly brush up on them. And I've found that about all you have to do right now, again, reminding you that it's December of 2020 when I'm filming this, all you have to do a show is literally film the damn thing with intent to distribute. I feel so bad for anybody who's just picked up an instrument this year and they have to get everything they know about aspiring to getting a gig and stuff like I don't know what the fuck's gonna apply later. I think we right now have that level playing field that we all thought we had before as entertainers. But I'm not going to wax too poetic about it. This tune I'm going to send out to somebody named Bill. I don't want to screw up his last name, but I'm pretty sure it's a gentleman named Bill, and the gentleman named Bill that I'm referring to actually named this song. I was going to call it Diamanda, or I just came up with just a word to call the demo, and then it stuck, so it was going to be Diamanda, but I thought, hey, maybe it should make a little more sense. And he suggested that title, and for reasons that I don't feel like going into, I went, that is great. It really doesn't say anything about the song to the average person, but I get it, and I like that you get it too. So Bill named this song Texas Myron, and I'm going to, if you're familiar with the song, it's going to be a different arrangement of it. It doesn't work so well solo. That's why I'm opening with it. Because if this totally sucks, the others might not. This is a song about, ultimately, it's about somebody being doxxed. But it's intensely specific and intensely vague, and also a style parody. On the record, it's a style parody. I don't know what the fuck it is when I do it like this. Anyways, I hope you're doing okay. And here goes some bullshit. Please go back to Texas, so when by chance I need you, nothing has to change, you'll be in the same places I left you. If you go back, forgive us, please don't get a day job. I'll need you to be free to entertain and please. The one that comes, the one that goes, the one that comes, the one that goes. Please go back to Texas, the images have found you. Strutting your stuff in X-ray and Heaven's Gated haiku. If you go back, forgive us, liberty has found you. There's a crack in your bell, there's a drip in your well, to know facts and not to tell. The one that comes, the one that goes, the one that comes, the one that goes. Crooked policeman on the line, snowflakes and diamonds on your mind. The one that comes, the one that goes, the one that comes, the one that goes. Please go back to Texas, so when by chance I need you, nothing has to change, you'll be in the same places I left you. Alright, that's Texas Myron. I ran through it, I got it out of the way. I do feel like I'm totally cheating here on these pocket shows by using it for a bit of rehearsal, but I guess I should point out that when I'm done with this, I'm going to then do the whole set list. So I'm using this set list to get a set list, in truth, but also showing you a little bit of how the sausage is made. So something I'm going to tell everybody tomorrow, or I plan to tell everybody tomorrow before I play this tune, is that when any person that releases songs that has ever had airplay looks back, you're bound to go, well, maybe I should have put all the attention behind this song on that record rather than this song. And I am famously the worst at picking singles. Picking which songs of mine should represent an album, will excite people. I am just historically fucking hideous at it. And most times, if something's happening where people really want a certain vibe out of me, a certain style, if a record that's maybe more than 2 years old is really exciting the people who listen to my stuff, I don't figure it out for years and years and years. And even if just one person tells me, I almost always default back to, no, that's not true. It might be true for them, right? Because obviously I don't have a cajillion listeners. So I think, well, there's not like Marc with a C fan club, so how are you congregating to find this out, right? I'm forever trying to figure out how to make people, the same people that pick up my records, just click like on social media. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get everybody in one place. literally, I cannot get everybody on the same page. So when someone tells me that everybody's on one page for one song, I go, huh? And I get skeptical. But getting back to the original point of this, when I look back at a record like, say, Losing Salt, the song that I believe that I put most of the weight behind was Chickenpox and Star Wars Guys. And that was because that was the first song. I didn't do any promo, really, for Losing Salt. I was very sick when the album came out and for most of that year. But if I'd had the wherewithal to maybe do a little bit more with it, this song certainly would have been more polished than the way you heard it. And it absolutely would have been the goddamn single. And I will forever be kicking myself that this is not the one that we pushed. Is it the best song I ever wrote? No. Is it, does it have a couple of lines that the person that portrays me, Marc Sidorius, thinks are absolutely wrong and bad? Oh yeah. That said, it's still perfect Marc with a C fodder. It's called You Got This Curse, and I hope you'll like it. I wanna love you like you've never been loved before. I'll be the one to reach you when you walk through our front door. And if you had a bad day at your job, then I'd let you talk my ear off. I don't need a mother, I don't need a whore, but I wanna love you like you've never been loved before. We'll pick out things that we don't need at the dollar store. Then if you bought 1,000,000 pairs of shoes, I'd build something you could use to put them on display forevermore. But you gotta let me love you first. You got this curse that I can't describe. You gotta talk it through, but it's hard to do when you can't trust. And I really wanna love you like you've never been loved before. I think I've said too much, but now I'm gonna say a little more. Because you could give me genital warts and I might get mad, but I'd still be yours. There's so much else that you and I could explore. But you gotta let me love you first. You got this curse that I can't describe. You gotta talk it through, yet it's hard to do when you can't trust. That I really wanna love you. I wanna love you like you've never been loved before. Living together means you probably don't have to say bonjour. And those bouts with PMS wouldn't seem so bad, 'cause if you said mean stuff, I'd understand that you and I aren't breaking up no more. But you gotta let me love you first. You got this curse that I can't describe. You gotta talk it through, but it's hard to do when you can't trust. But I really wanna love you first. But you got this curse that I can't describe. You gotta talk it through, but it's hard to do when you can't trust. But I really wanna love you first. But you got this curse that I can't describe. You gotta talk it through, but it's hard to do when you can't trust. But I really wanna love you. Alright, being December, this song's fitting, at least for me right now, and probably the hues that are taking place. It's very strangely lit in here right now. I have a ring light over there, and I have sort of a multicolored, all-purpose, just make things more colorful light over there. I don't have the backlight on today. Wow, does the backlight really do that much? Let's find out. Because, I mean, I literally just bend down and plug this fucker in, and then we know what's what. Weird, it really does that much. I look like I look now. Huh? Who'd have thought? So I guess you all know now what Marc with a C looks like in the dark, fully clothed. Okay. This song is called Winter Colors, and it will always and forever be dedicated to the human being and the memory of Domenico Marini, the person who believed in the song and the album that it came from before anyone else on the planet did, including me. The world is at my fingertips, and frankly, I don't care a bit, 'cause I can waste a day away based on all the options I have weighed. Obsessions leave me horrified, and I am feeling quite confined. So lethargy will have to work for me, and my schedule's always free. So all my winter colors will turn to orange and blue. And I am gonna miss you, and you, and you, and you, and you. The house could use a bit of work, and with the talents of a soda jerk, I can rearrange the living space. I can hide things in the pillowcase. A toilet made of stainless steel, a felony with no appeals. A lapse in judgment might just lead to a huge lapse in my life, where all my winter colors will turn to orange and blue. And I am gonna miss you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Silence is golden, duct tape is silver. Silence is golden, duct tape is silver. If I should choose to go outside, there's earthly laws one must abide. I've watched so many cop shows, I think I'll know what not to do. So all my winter colors will turn to orange and blue. And I don't have to miss you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And now, for a massive change of pace, you know, there's this one song called You're My Princess that I'm pretty well known for. I mean, in the parts that I am well known. And mostly, I'm well known for the song because I wrote it in my sleep, literally. The story's out there, just Google it. Anyways, there were others I haven't been totally forthcoming with you about just how many, but I did mention that this was one of them. Here's what happened. I wake up one day and I find that in my sleep I have written and recorded an entire song in full. Lyrically, I know what it's about, though, because I recognize some of the situations from Marc Sardorius' personal life, but I also recognize some of the situations from the film that I had just watched before I thought I went to bed. And the movie was SLC Punk. Now, if you're wondering, hey, Mark, will you tell me which line is which? The answer is no, but here's why. To do that, I'd have to diagram the sentences. I mean, literally, I begin one line, and it might be autobiographical, but the line will finish as a situation from SLC Punk, and vice versa. It's not really possible. Anyways, the song was only missing one thing, which was the chorus. So, that morning, in early 2006, I sang the only lines that one could sing to themselves at that moment. Here goes the song. And I'm sorry if you can relate. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad, for building a world that I can't afford to live in. And thanks to all you other baby boomers. What the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? You say you never sold out. You say that you bought in. And the day I was born was the day that you stopped being hip. Well, thanks, Mom. What the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you on when you came up with that one? Thanks, Mom, for the electric guitar. When I was down on my luck, I just put it in the pawn shop. Thanks to your ideals as an ex-hippie on a new fad diet in an SUV. I tried LSD while you explained to me all the dangers I faced while I was tripping. While my pupils were bigger than the national debt, they looked like saucers in the middle of my head. So, thanks for the pep talk. What the hell were you thinking? What the hell was I thinking? What the hell were you on when you came up with that one? What the hell were you on when you came up with that one? Thanks, Dad, for telling me I could be anything that I wanted except for a bear. It's a good thing I'm not actually sexually attracted to them. Instead, I write these songs where I don't sing. I just talk and I pretend that it's so goddamn innovative. I act like I'm the first one to come up with it, like the Beat Poets never happened. And like those weird Tom Waits records didn't exist, and like Pete Townsend didn't really inspire this. Oh, thanks, Dad, for thinking about my pants. What the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you on when you came up with that one? What the hell were you on when you came up with that one? Well, this is a strange-ass set list. I don't have anything else to add. This is just a strange ass set list. The one I'm doing today. It makes a lot more sense in full, I promise. That's why I picked it. I don't really know if I should be saying this or not. But fuck it, here goes. If you whenever you're seeing this, if you revert back to national news on December 12th of 2020, last night there was a Supreme Court thing, and this cat who really, really, really wants to be like king of the world got told, no, you can't be king of the world for like the billionth fucking time. And like literally people are marching in the streets in some towns, like wearing yellow and black, like a fucking striper tribute group, and like demanding the right for this guy to be king of the fucking world. But they're also claiming that they absolutely want to defend the Constitution, and that's what they're doing. They're out there defending the Constitution so this guy can be king of the world, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. But anyways, so it feels like an especially timely day to play this song. And yeah, I'm nerve-wracked enough that I'm like, yeah, let's grab the vape and let's calm down, because to even talk about this is just, hey, I already suffer from enough anxiety, but good God, outside world, could you stop making my body job of rebelling against me so fucking easy? Okay. My attention's back with you where it should be. What's going on in the street is not what this song's about, but it's probably about the closest thing I have to something that would relate to it. Years ago, I wrote this song for Domenico Marini, the person I was talking about before, the person that I dedicate Winter Colors to. See, in case you don't know who Domenico Marini is, or the place that he holds in Marc with a C history, and the personal history of the person that portrays me, Domenico Marini, at the time that we crossed paths, he was in his 60s, I'm pretty sure, and I got some emails from him that I couldn't quite understand, and this is because there was a language barrier between us. He was in Italy, and he had a massive fear of flying, but he really wanted, one, to come see me live. Two, he very much wanted to bequeath his record collection to me. And then three, he wanted to invest in me as an angel investor silently, just so I could continue my career. Now, I asked for none of these things. I had no idea who he was. And if I'm being completely open with you, the first couple of emails that I got from him, I was real standoffish because I thought it was just somebody fucking with me. I thought it was spam. I thought it was a scam. It could have been anything. It could have been anyone on the other side of it. I suffer from anxiety, but he really suffered. And Home Slice killed his fear of flying to come to America to watch, of all things, the record release party for my album Pop Pop Pop, taking place in a hybrid video store and coffee shop. And then he invested in me putting out vinyl. It's the whole reason my career continued in the fashion that it did. So, a couple of years later, he asked me, legit, write him a song. And we'd gotten to know each other enough. I mean, we got very close. I got to know him enough that I found out one of the things that kind of perplexed me about what he was getting out of my records. See, I am very aware that Marc with a C records are just rife with very American viewpoints. You know? I know that's pretty much all that's ever really informed me. So I was wondering what he was getting out of it with that language barrier, because these records are often so lyrically driven. And the more I learned, the more I realized he was kind of in love with the idea of America that he knew from television and books. I tried a million different ways to say, like, you know, hey, stuff like what you saw in, I don't know, 2-Lane Blacktop or insert movie here. That is truly just a movie. Is America cool? Does it have a lot to offer? Are there a lot of neat things to say about it? Oh, God, yeah. But you might have been sold a vision that we were being sold too. But we had the option of looking out of our windows and seeing that it wasn't that way. Someone halfway around the world maybe didn't. So when something would fail, when I would fail at communicating with Domenico verbally, sometimes I would try to find a song that would give him the sentiment. I couldn't find any songs with the exact sentiment that I wanted to give, so I had to make one. There's a line in here, in this song called Americana, that some people have taken exception to, and I want to make this abundantly clear. There is a line, it says, "The long stretches of dusty roads somewhere out in Idaho mostly serve to hide the undesirables." I am not calling any person who lives in an out-of-the-way place undesirable as a human being. No, I never would. And I would never... I hope that it's clear that I would never be behind intimating such a thing. And this may be a failure of mine as a writer. Because, again, the song was written initially for one person, and then I released it. And I didn't really change it all that much, if at all. Yeah, I'm thinking it through. I don't think it got changed pretty much at all. So I probably should have brushed it up a little bit or something, but now the song's out, people know it, it's too late. No use crying over spilled milk, insert your cliche of choice here. What I'm getting at with that line is I lived in some very small towns. I've written plenty of songs about that. Most small towns are rife with attitudes. Importantly, the small towns in the middle of nowhere, at least in the South, are often riddled with kind of pre-civil rights era mindsets. And I don't agree. But secondly, I'm not really talking about the human beings. If that small town exists, it probably has a city council, a mayor, something. And at some point, some developer showed up and was like, hey, we can do the following here. We'll bring all these people and there'll be business and you'll make money. And to stay a small town, they had to tell them to kick rocks. They just had to. They made themselves appear to be undesirable to the rest of the world. In my eyes, it is not that I think that the human beings under those jurisdictions are not desirable human beings to know of, to care about, to have empathy, love, sympathy, or general respect for. This disclaimer comes years too late, but at least it's been stated now. This song is called Americana. Sometimes I feel useless, like I've never had much to give. But when it comes to writing about it, I just give up on it. But there's one thing I can tell you, that they don't write about in books. long stretches of dusty roads somewhere out in Idaho mostly serve to hide the undesirables. James Dean was an icon who played a rebel on TV, and none of us can agree upon a single American dream. But there are still expenses where nothing really happens, and to a small minority they feel like heaven. Americana never happened. It was only something from the films and the long stretches of dusty roads somewhere out in Idaho mostly serve to hide the undesirables. 'Cause there's a lot of towns with lots of men who are drawing up those blueprint plans to make sure that New York looks like San Antonio. Meanwhile, every store where I've ever bought a record has now closed up shop. Yet there's 20 places I can go to get a cell phone. That's it. Americana never happened. It was only something from the films and the long stretches of dusty roads somewhere out in Idaho mostly serve to hide the undesirables. The long stretches of dusty roads somewhere out in Idaho mostly serve to hide the undesirables. There are still expanses where nothing really happens, and to a small minority it feels like heaven. Well, if there's a good place for your voice to crack a little bit, I'd say the very last note of the last song you intend to do for your Warts and All pocket show will probably be the desirable place for that to go. I'm Marc with a C. You're a human being worthy of love and respect. I hope you're receiving it. As always, I send my love and my best wishes to each and every one of you. Hope you're okay wherever you are, whoever you are. I hope whatever I've done here did not fuck up your day. And if it did, damn, you're fragile. Even more fragile than me. But I've got love for you.